Good morning, Intenders.
Good morning.
Welcome and welcome back to Morning Intentions. Today is Thursday, June 4th, and we're continuing on with curiosity and the art of enjoying life. Yesterday, we talked about the stories we tell ourselves. And boy, there are a lot of stories that we tell ourselves, aren't there, Annette?
Yes, and then they create limits, and we tend to rely more on our interpretations than true facts. So we lose out, we miss out.
We want to take that a little deeper and a little further today and checking in with the stories that we tell ourselves and wondering what if there's more to the story than we initially think. Just think, this is the one that's always used. Oh, you're in traffic, someone cuts you off. We can get mad, or we could wonder if something else is going on. Just because we tell ourselves a story and all the evidence that we have available to us points to the truth of that story doesn't make it actually true. One of the things Annette and I learned a long time ago in our coaching journey is that we're only seeing a small snapshot each and every moment. We don't get the whole picture from just the little frame that's in front of us. There's way more to the story. And in fact, Annette, you will often remind us what you learned in business school. If you're a business or a person, within 3 seconds, people have made their first impression.
We might think 3 seconds, but that's what first impression is all about. We make this interpretation, we have assumptions that we were talking about yesterday. Immediately we do that. I guess this month, one of the applications of curiosity and the art of enjoying life is to question that. Is the story that I'm telling myself true? Is there more to the story? Am I willing to look beyond my first impressions? About 6 months ago, I was listening to an interview. It was with Katie Couric, but I can't remember who she was interviewing. The person she was interviewing said, many things can be true.
I remember when you told me about this, and that has had a profound impact on you, hasn't it?
It has, because I remember the words coming out of their mouth. I can't even remember who it was because I was so caught up with those words. Many things can be true. And as I've just lived now, probably 6 months with that thought in my mind, it's true. When we're coaching couples, they each can have their truth. Many things can be true. And so if we shut ourselves off and say, nope, this is just the way it is, we're not opening ourselves up to the possibility that there's more to the story. And that's where that curiosity comes in. Even going back to our working definition, curiosity is choosing to explore rather than assume. So even with your partner, your best friend, there's no way in the world that I would have ever known that you were going to look at Peanuts comics. Right?
Somehow I knew that was going to come up today.
Okay, so explore rather than assume. I would have assumed you would have done something else, but I wouldn't have assumed that you would have done that.
So what would you have assumed? What was the story that you're telling yourself about what I would have picked out?
Something like science fiction or, okay, I'm going to make an assumption, something that I would be bored with. Because you and I are different.
Would you be bored with Peanuts comics?
No, I actually wouldn't. I think that's kind of light and fluffy. It'd be kind of nice. Wouldn't it be better if I didn't make these assumptions about you? Well, Ada's going to probably pick something that maybe I wouldn't understand too. Sometimes I go to that, like, oh, she's going to do something kind of like a brainiac and I'm not going to get it.
That's really making a lot of assumptions about yourself.
And about you. Right? Because then there's like this disconnection. I wouldn't really relate to what she's going to do. And then to wonder rather than judge. I'm judging you, I'm judging me. And then to learn rather than conclude. So what if there's more to the stories?
I've learned over the past several years that so much of our lives goes back to the nervous system. Those stories we think they're going to keep us safe. As long as we stick to the story and treat people a certain way or have those assumptions and judgments about them, somehow, some way, it's going to keep us safe. So with curiosity, we have to start training our nervous systems that there's safety in uncertainty. That just because we're not sure how this is going to turn out, we don't know what's going to happen next, we're confident in our skills that we'll be able to take care of ourselves, and we're going to end up safe and it'll all be okay. That nervous system plays such a primary role in how we see the world and how we show up each and every day.
So you know what's helped me with that? Learning about first bird, second bird. That's helped me to look at life from a calmer space. Have we ever shared that on the podcast?
Years ago, it would warrant a second go around, maybe a third or fourth in the future. It's a very helpful tool, and I would love for you to share it. Then I have a question for you.
Okay. When we think about our lives, who we are, the activity that we're in, the assumptions that we're making, the stories that we're telling ourselves, the things we think we have to do, all of that. If we imagine ourselves, we're just a little bird on a tree and we're busy. We're busy trying to make a living. We're busy trying to connect with people. We're busy having to deal with conflict, which I am researching now, which I think we're going to do it in August. So we're doing all that. Within each one of us, though, there's also another part that isn't completely consumed with all the activity. And if we can quiet ourselves enough, this is where meditation comes in, or just being still, lying in bed, being still, sitting on a chair, being still, going on a walk, being quiet within. There's another part of each of us that's observing all that we're doing. And I've noticed that as I've nurtured that observer within me, I can calm down enough within my nervous system so that I can kind of create a little space between the activity part of me and the observer part of me. And when we can step into that observer role, we can let a lot of these assumptions go. We can not hold so tightly to these stories because it lends itself to coming from this place inside of us that is the non-attached place, where we're not worried about an outcome. We're just observing. Spending time and practicing spending time in the observer is helpful. I used it earlier this week when I didn't take the different path. I felt that disheartened feeling. And then I allowed myself, because I've been practicing, allowing myself to feel my feelings and not being afraid of feeling my feelings. And then when I removed myself from that real being in the experience and just more watched myself, I wasn't caught up in, I failed. It was more, this just is. This just happened today. I didn't have to get all caught up. And I believe that that's going to be my personal key to bringing more curiosity in. With what we've been talking about, I can be hard on myself if I don't do it because it's not natural for me. But when we can step in the role of the observer, we just see what is. We don't have to get all caught up in, did I do it wrong? Did I do it right? I should have done it. I shouldn't have done it. All the story. What if there's more to the story? Maybe I needed Tuesday to have Wednesday. Could just be like that.
That's staying curious. And I did say I have a question. I didn't forget about it, but we're going to save it for tomorrow so you can give a more complete answer than a quick 1 or 2 sentences.
Sounds good.
So our intention for today is I will practice being the second bird and ask myself, is there more to the story I'm telling myself? I will practice being the second bird and will ask myself, is there more to the story that I'm telling myself? Thank you so much for joining us today. Our day is better because you are part of our day. See you tomorrow.
See you then.